This is yet another video that we're producing here at Milan Middle School discussing the changes in practice and paradigms here at the middle school. You know, there's been a lot of talk lately about what's taking place at Milan Middle School. There's the impression by some that all that we're doing here at the middle school is simply a big experiment, or that it's a quote-unquote Schmittou driven project. Honestly, I wish I could take credit for all of this, but unfortunately, it's just not the case. Some try to say that what's happening at the middle school is as a result of the Common Core standards, that these new standards are causing Milan Middle School to do everything differently. Again, unfortunately, that's not the case either. And in this video, I hope to explain some of the underlying principles that have led to the new renaissance, truly, that's taking place at MMS, and the results that our students are now producing. You know, it's been said before that teaching is both an art and a science. That's a statement I truly believe. I believe it deeply. The teachers at Milan Middle School are truly artists. They take grounding principles of instruction and pedagogy, and they paint pictures that are unique and priceless. They create the artifacts, students that are true pieces of art. You know, each teacher has the freedom to make their class their own and to use their God-given talents and abilities to help shape students and to help them create brighter futures. What is being shifted at MMS is not the art of teaching, but instead it's the science of teaching. By science, I don't necessarily mean the coursework or the classroom experience of science class. I mean the underlying principles of teaching. You know, science in its simplest form is the quest for understanding. It's the quest to identify natural laws so that we can make meaning and perhaps even make predictions. You know, for example, the underlying law of gravity is something that we use on a daily basis. By understanding gravity, we can predict the outcome of dropping an egg, for example, from the roof of your house. You know what will happen based off of understanding the law of gravity. By understanding the laws of physics, for example, we understand that there are inherent risks associated with driving down the freeway without your seatbelt on. As education has progressed here in America, we've gained a better understanding of the natural laws or the science associated with learning. At Milan Middle School, we're attempting to use these understandings to help educate our students in a way that enables greater learning and greater understanding. Just like the world of geography has changed in the hundreds of years since we gained an understanding that the Earth is round. You know, prior to that, people had one level of understanding, and they educated and mapped the world and traded, and economies were different, all because of that understanding. Understanding the Earth was round changed things. Understanding the Earth is not the center of the universe has changed things as well. The more that we learn about things, the better off we all are. You know, in the realm of medicine, for example, we're constantly gaining greater insight into how the body responds to different treatments and protocols. I would expect my MD that I go to understand the latest breakthroughs and the latest understandings of the natural laws, if you will, or the science behind medicine. I would not want him to prescribe a treatment to me of, for example, bleeding me out to try to respond to some illness that I might have, or to put leeches on my body. That was the way it was done back then, back hundreds of years ago, but not today. I would expect that my MD wash his hands because he understands germ theory and the inherent risks of not doing so. Here at Milan Middle School, teachers are being exposed to the latest science of teaching. Again, we're not changing the art of teaching. We're trying to better educate on the science of teaching. Here's a small example that may help as well. When you and I were in school, it was not uncommon for teachers to perhaps notify you days in advance that a test was coming. They may even be a nice teacher, or a kind teacher, or a good teacher, however you want to describe them, and maybe they gave you a study guide. You and I may have then decided that the day before that test, we would take our study guide or our notes or our textbook and we would cram. I know I never necessarily did it in K through 12 school, but maybe I did it at my undergraduate work. I would sit down and I would cram the night before the test, and I would try to pour as much knowledge in my brain as possible so that I could be more successful on the test the next day. And I'll be honest with you, sometimes it helped. Sometimes it helped me be successful on that test, on that given day. It's not necessarily saying anything for the endurance of that knowledge, whether or not I could remember it 2 weeks later, but it might have helped me gain more knowledge on that given day. Sometimes it might not have helped me. I remember there were times back in high school and even middle school where I took classes on study habits and how to help myself study, or how to help myself what I consider cram for tests. You know, there's some other lenses as well. Let's look at the lens of health, perhaps. Maybe I decide that getting healthy is something that I really want to work on. So I decide that this weekend, on Saturday, I'm going to cram in a workout. Haven't done anything all week in the realm of physical activity, but this weekend I'm going to cram. And I go downstairs in my basement, and I attempt to bench press 300 pounds, jump on my treadmill, and attempt to run a marathon 26.2 miles. Haven't had any build-up. I'm just going to cram and try to get myself healthier as a result. You know, is that really going to help? Not at all. I'm not going to show any big results. My pecs aren't going to be stronger. My calves and hamstrings aren't going to be stronger as a result of a cram session in physical activity, because I didn't have any training. I didn't have any build-up. You can only get stronger in the physical realm as a result of constant activity and constant build-up and constant training. Think about it in the realm of acquiring physical characteristics or physical traits, personality traits, if you will, like trustworthiness or fairness. Are those things you can cram for? If you decide, I want to be more trustworthy, I want to treat people more equitably or be more fair, can you sit down tonight and cram and say, tomorrow I'm going to be more trustworthy, tomorrow I'm going to be more fair? No. Personality traits are acquired over time through trial and error. They're acquired as through the application of knowledge from experience, if you will. The same is true with learning. Learning is a biological experience. It's a result of mental energy. It's acquired in the same way as good health, another biological process. It's acquired the same way as acquiring good ethics, not acquired through cramming for tests, not acquired through major study sessions. It's acquired through the application of knowledge. It's through repeated experience. It's repeated through rigorous experience. That's the essence of what's happening here at Milan Middle School. We're not changing our foundation or our principles. Those things can't be changed. We still want every single child to achieve. We still want every single child to grow. We are still hoping that every single child will have a bright future. What we are changing is our understanding of how to help students do just that. The students at Milan Middle School are responding to that as well. As a result of the teachers and staff of Milan Middle School being willing to expose themselves constantly to the new science of education, the art of teaching is producing some pretty remarkable results.